We're going to make 3 more models, pictured here on the right. Each of them has holes that we're going to poke through those models. So this is something new for today. Let's start with the one in the top right. I'm going to start by creating a sketch, and it looks to me like I want to start on the vertical plane. Here I am on the vertical plane. Over on the right side, I'm going to zoom in on this drawing so that I can see what I need to draw. Let's go ahead and create the line tool, and I'm going to go up 3 units. Then I'm going to go, looks like to the right 3 units, and then up 1 unit to make a diagonal. Up 2 units, over 1, down 1, over 2, up 1. Sometimes it does stuff that makes me mad. Up 1, over 1, down 1. We're making that little crown on top. We're going to go down 1 unit and then over, it looks like 1, 2, 3 units. Kind of a oblong that's going to come down 4 and then back to the beginning. There's that. I'm going to finish that sketch. There it is. It looks good. And then over on the right side, take a look back at my drawing, and I see that it's 4 units thick. So there it is, 4 units thick. I'm going to extrude that. Just type in the number 4 and press OK. Now I have my main body, but I need to do a couple things. The first thing I want to do is cut out this little crown on top, the 4 little divots. So the best way to do that is to create a sketch. We're actually going to put the sketch right here on the face of part of the body. To do that, I'm going to zoom in. The beautiful thing about Fusion is that now I can take a rectangle. I'm going to count over 1 unit to right here, and I'm just going to make a rectangle that's the size of what I want to get rid of. That's 1 unit tall and 2 units wide. I'm going to press Enter, finish the sketch. So now I've got this little block, and when I extrude it, rather than making something new, I'm going to drag it back in the opposite direction, and you'll see that the operation goes from join to cut. I'm going to click OK, and now what I've actually done is I've used that extrusion to chop a hole in something or to cut out a piece. Now these 2 holes down here actually represent holes that go all the way through the body. To do that, I want to start by creating some points where I want to create them. Let's create a sketch. I'm going to do this main face. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to turn off my origin because it's in my way. And then I'm going to go back to my picture over here. And it looks to me like it needs to be over 2 units and up 2 units, and then there's a center point. So I'm going to create a point. I'm going to go over 1, 2 units, and then up 1, 2 units. Create a point right there. Then I'm going to create a circle. This is a center diameter circle. I click on that point, I drag outwards, and when I look at my picture over on the right side, that circle has a diameter of 1. So I'm just going to type in the number 1 and press Enter. And that creates center diameter circle right where I want it. Go over here to the right side and do the same thing. I'm going to start with a point, go to the left 2 units, go up 2 units, start with my point, and I'm going to create a center diameter circle around that 1. Enter. Finish my sketch. Now I have 2 holes. Click 1 there. I held down the Shift button, click on the other one, click Extrude, and now I can pull them out this way, or I can drag them back into the distance like that. Now, the lazy man's way to do it is just to drag this all the way through and say, okay. The professional way to do it is to go over here to Extent Type and change Distance to All. And that's going to automatically sense the depth of the object, make sure my operation is cut, and then I'll click OK. And there it is. Now I got 2 holes in this object. There's another way to do this. It's a little more complicated, but I want to show it to you. So rather than doing it that way, there is a more detailed method. I'm going to delete that actually and just go back to my sketches. So I'm going to turn all my sketches on so I can see my center diameter circles. Instead, I'm going to use this tool up here called Hole. To create a hole, I click on the face where I want it, and I can drag it around here. And so I'm going to say Reference, and I'm going to select that point, and it's going to snap my hole to that point. And the cool thing about this is that I can do all sorts of stuff like create a counter bore, a countersink. Right now I just want to create a simple hole with a simple tap kind of flat drill type. I want it to go 4 centimeters deep, or more appropriately, all. And that's going to create this nice little hole that goes all the way through. And of course, I can change all sorts of different things about this. And the coolest thing I can do is I can add taps to it, so I could turn it into a screw if I wanted to later on. So all, and I want to make sure my diameter is 1 centimeter. I'm going to click OK. That creates that hole right there. Do the same thing again. This time though, no. This time, create a hole again on this face. Select my reference, select my point, flat, flat, flat to the distance, all 1 centimeter. Okay. So there was another way to make the same thing. If I turn my sketches back off, go back to orthographic mode, put my sketch over here back on the screen, it looks exactly like what I made. All right, I'm gonna hit save. I'm gonna call this modeling holes 1. Now I am gonna want to make a multi-view sketch to turn in, but I'm gonna go ahead and skip that step right now so that you can watch me build. Let's make the second one. All right, this second guy is this little arch. So again, I'm gonna make sure my origin is on, create sketch, and I'm gonna start with the biggest, easiest to draw face. There it is right there. And over on the right side, I'm gonna zoom in so you can see what I'm drawing. I'm using this multi-view drawing, and I'm gonna recreate this on my screen. All right, let's go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. That's easy. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm actually gonna go all the way across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go all the way over. All right, I'm gonna make this little notch in the bottom. So I'm gonna create a point right here in the center. If I just drag along this line, it'll actually find me that center point. Put a point there, it just helps me notice where it is. I'm gonna create a line. I'm gonna come to the left 1 unit. And actually before I do that, left 1 unit. And I'm gonna go up 2 units, then down 2 units. Create that little shape right there. Got a nice little triangle going. Now if I click a couple different times in here, oh no, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, so I created that little shape. Let's go ahead and do the top here. I'm gonna take this, bring it over 3 units. There's that. I'll go over on the right side. This is part of why I did this. I'm gonna come up my 5 units, come over 3. There's that. All right. So now how am I gonna create this arch, this cool little arch? What I see is that the center point is actually up 1. So I'm gonna take this and bring it up 1 unit. Bring this up 1 unit. All right, and now I need to create an arch up at the top. In order to do that, first thing I'm gonna do, I like to create a point right here in the middle, because I'm gonna use that a couple different times. And then I'm gonna create 2 things. The first is an arc. We're gonna make a center point arc. Click on that point in the middle, click on the edge, drag my arc around. And now I've created that cool little dome at the top. Then I'm gonna create a center diameter circle, starting at the center. Its radius is 2 centimeters. And there it is, that's 2 centimeters. I've now created this entire shape here. And in fact, that's everything I'm going to need to make this thing happen. So I'm gonna click Finish Sketch. And now I have this cool little shape in 3D. Look at that. It automatically knows what my shape looks like. I'll click on that and I'm gonna extrude it 4 units into the background. There it is. Now there's a couple ways to do this. I could have also done this by creating one giant block and punching a hole and punching a triangle through it. In this particular case, I decided to just model it all at once. So that's number 2. You'll want to do a multi-view drawing for that to make that complete. Let's go down and do this third one here. Save. Modeling those 2. All right, let's go ahead and make the third one. Once again, I want to start with my largest, flattest, easiest looking face. To me, that's the front face here. It's just usually where you like to start. I'm going to choose that face, and I'm going to draw a picture that looks like what I have right here. Let's start with 2 units up. 1 unit to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units up. 4 units to the right. And that should bring me all the way back down. 7 units. Bring her back to the beginning. There it is. This time I'm going to do it just like that. Finish. We're going to extrude that 4 units into the distance. Now I have my base body. I'm going to have to do some work on this. I got to poke some holes, make a little semicircle down there at the bottom, and create this little block up here in the top. So I like to start with the easiest thing. This block in the top looks easy to me. Let's do that. Create a sketch. I'm going to select the face that I want to work on. I'm going to create a rectangle. That rectangle is going to start, I'm going to zoom in, just right up here. And it's going to come down and be 2 by 2 units. That's 2 tab 2, enter. Finish the sketch. And I want to extrude that into the body. It looks like 1.5 units. So not this way, but the other way. We're going to go -1.5. We're going to click OK. Make sure that operation is cut. And now I've created that block. Let's keep cruising. I'm going to create these 2 holes down here. In order to do that, I'm going to create a new sketch, also on that same face. Turn off my origin because it's ugly. Now, this time I'm actually going to use a slightly different tool because I'm going to have trouble measuring here. Let's see here. I'm going to create a couple different things. First, I'm going to create a point. All right, I'm going to come in. Let's see here. Actually, no, I'm just going to count. I changed my mind. I'm going to create a point. This one right here needs to go to the right 1 block and then up 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go over 1, and then up 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to drop a point. Same thing over here to the left 1, and then up 1, 2, 3. Look at that. It even gave me a little point to make sure that I got them parallel to one another. I'm going to create a center diameter circle for each of those. Looks like the diameter is 1. There's 1 there. Create another one right here. Finish that sketch. Click on 1, hold down the Shift key, click on the other. I'm going to extrude those, not this way. Let's go back the other way. I'm too lazy to actually know how far it is, so I'm just going to say extent type all. Okay. Now I've cut a hole in there. Look at that. It goes all the way through. Beautiful. One last thing to do is to create this little arch on the bottom. Let's create a sketch. We're going to create it on this face here on the front. I want to make sure that thing is dead center. So I'm going to create a point. I'm just going to hover my mouse along the bottom until I see that little isosceles triangle. That's going to give me a point right in the middle. And then I'm going to create a arc, a center point arc. Start in the center. I'm going to drag it out. I'm going to look at my picture down there. It looks like that is, let's see here. That's 1 unit wide, so that's a 2 unit radius. So I need to come out about 1 unit, 1 centimeter. Bring that around. Click right there. And then because of the way Fusion works, I'm actually going to want to create a line across the bottom and finish the sketch. Now I can click on that, extrude it, not this way. Let's go that way. I'm too lazy to care how far it is, so I'm going to hit extent type all. Make sure the operation is cut. The operation is cut. I've now created my 3rd shape. Save. I'm going to call this modeling holes 3. All right, now this part is repetitive, but it's good practice. I'm going to go ahead and design drawing from design. If you know how to do this, you can stop the video right now. I'm going to click OK. And let's start with the base view. Here we go. I'm going to put one right there. I'm going to go ahead and change the scale 1 to 1 because I know I want it a little bit bigger. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to take my projected views. In order to do the right and the top, Fusion's weird. You got to go to the bottom, to the left, and to the bottom left. Then click on those and put them where you like them. That's where I like them. Oh, look at that 3D image right there. That is gorgeous. That isometric view, just beautiful. Just beautiful. All right, so here's this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. Beautiful. I want to use this dimension tool. Add dimensions. I'm automatically seeing an issue here, which is it defaults to millimeters, don't it? It does. It does. Document settings. Change this to centimeters. There they are, 10, 3, 2. Those are a lot easier to read. Let's add some dimensions. I like to do it that way. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. Give ourselves some pictures here. Gorgeous. All right, now we want to constrain this hole right here. I want to let the reader know that the diameter of that hole is 1. Same thing here. Diameter of that hole, 1. All right, now there's a rule that if it's constrained in this direction, all you got to do up here is make sure that you've constrained whatever you haven't constrained in the first base view. So there's this. When I look at it, I need to constrain some of these distances right here. Let the user know where that hole is. The user already knows how big this is. And this should be the same, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right, and I don't need to do it on top. That would be redundant. Let's do our vertical stuff. Do it right over here. Make sure they know that that's 4 units thick. That's 2 units wide. I don't know how that turned into 0.99. Look at that. It looks like I got one of my measurements off by 0.01 centimeters. I got to go back and fix that. I'm going to finish this so you don't have to watch me. If that was your error, you should go back and fix it. And that's how you constrain. You do want to do this for the next 2 drawings. I don't want to make you watch me do that because this video will go on for hours. Let's go ahead and make sure we label the top. Let's label the front or the base view. Let's label the right side. And make sure you label the isometric, if only just because isometric sounds really cool. All right, there it is, modeling holes 1. Look at that. I can see my name, the title. I can see the date when I did it. Hit save. Remember, what you want to turn in is not a screenshot. You want to turn in that PDF. Export a PDF. This button right up here. All right, and using that method, you should be able to create a picture like this for each of these 3. And if you look, even your hidden lines and all your center lines, they should look really similar to the pictures on the assignment. If they don't, then you've got something missing and you should call me over or ask a friend to help out. So that was modeling holes 1, 2, and 3.